Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Roll call of supervisors, please.
We have 21 supervisors present. Supervisors Gantz and Carroll are excused.
Citizens' comments. Are there any citizens wishing to speak? Any citizens wishing to speak? Please state your name and address for the record.
102nd Street in Bristol. It's been quite some time since I've addressed this board during citizen comments. I want to begin by saying what a pleasure it has been to watch this body work together for the good of the county. Thank you for that. Tonight, however, I feel obligated to raise serious concerns about the Kenosha County District Attorney's Office. Since DA Solis took office about 8 months ago, at least 14 assistant district attorneys have resigned, including some he himself hired. Most recently, Deputy DA Drew Burgoyne, our county's most experienced prosecutor, also left. This is not normal attrition. It is not happening in other comparable counties such as Racine or Brown. We've seen a state representative representing Pleasant Prairie and west of the interstate intercede in a local murder case. According to WGTD reporting, that case now hangs in, quote, limbo after Mr. Burgoyne told the judge he could not ethically proceed with prosecution due to extenuating circumstances that compromised the case. Despite that, the case is moving forward. The fallout from this leadership crisis is serious. Defendants are spending more time in pretrial detention than they should. There's a backlog of cases. More cases are being dismissed or pled down that might rightfully go to trial. Overburdened staff, many of them inexperienced, are far more likely to make mistakes. When Mr. Solis was elected, he had no experience prosecuting cases. That alone does not disqualify someone from success, but his record gives us reason for concern. As chair of the county's Racial and Ethnic Equity Commission, created by former County Board Supervisor Jerry Gulley to help create a more level playing field in Kenosha County, his leadership led to resignations, dysfunction, and ultimately the commission's dissolution. We all understand that elections have consequences, but I'm asking you, what will you, as county board supervisors, do to help protect the integrity of our justice system under this district attorney? While you cannot control the DA's office, you do control the budget. DA Solis inherited a budget of more than $1 million. Taxpayers deserve to know how those funds are being used to sustain this critical office. DA Solis campaigned on eliminated corruption, yet what we are seeing under his leadership feels dangerously close to just that. He was duly elected, and with elections comes accountability, both for how taxpayer money is spent and how justice is served. I want to be transparent. I did not vote for DA Solis, and I currently serve as the chair of the Kenosha County Democratic Party. But my grave concerns are shared by many across the political spectrum, and that transcends politics. I've spoken with residents across the county who share my concerns. Many are afraid to come forward publicly, fearing retaliation. But I have been a target before, and I will not stay silent. I'm here tonight to say the public deserves better, and no one who speaks up will stand alone. I urge you, members of this board, to take up your responsibility, investigate how the DA's office is functioning, demand transparency, and ensure that our county's justice system serves the people fairly and effectively. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizens wishing to speak? Any other citizens wishing to speak? Any other citizens wishing to speak? Seeing none, citizens' comments are closed. Announcements of the chairman. I just want to reiterate that on Thursday of this week at 5:30 at Brookside is our CIP meeting. Dinner and fellowship is from 5:30 to 6. The meeting will start at 6. If you're able to make it, I encourage you to attend. That is where you're going to get a preview of the 2026 CIP. Supervisor Oh, you know what, I'm missing Youth and Governance. Youth and Governance, tonight we have in attendance Savannah Farr, Timothy Kudrafsa, Megan Galantine, Ruby Igarola Dorado, Stephanie Laganis, and Andrew Serta. So thank you all for attending tonight. It's nice to see a full stack of Youth and Governance here tonight. Moving on to supervisor reports. Supervisor Grady.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I see we have a relatively light agenda, so correspondingly, I'll keep the Public Works comments to a minimum. We had our most recent meeting the last Monday of last month, August 25th. A few items came along that I can mention to you, and that is our large public works project, which is the Human Services Building being constructed on 52nd Street. It appears as though we may have a upcoming tour the 18th of this month, which would represent the third Thursday. So stay tuned for details on that. That is something, if you have an interest, we'd like to have you attend. Moving on to parks, we have a variety of things to talk about relatively short. But on your desk, you have a little bit of information here. I'd asked our Parks Director to elucidate the partnerships we have between the county and private vendors that are utilizing our space, and they pay us rental fees for that utilization. So they're listed in chronological order from the oldest, which is the Petrifying Springs Beer Garden, to the most recent, which is the water sports rental at Silver Lake Beach. It's a self-service kiosk type thing. One thing that has not come to fruition, we're still hoping we can do, is the bicycle rental. We'd like to have bicycles various places where they could be dropped off, picked up, and it's just incumbent upon the vendor to raise the financing to do that. This committee and this board has previously passed that, so that may be something you'll see in the future. Along again with the Parks Department, we have chapel repairs at Kemper, and we're assessing the condition of the Kemper facilities. Those should be completed by the end of this month. That's our anticipation. Another thing that will happen this month at our monthly meeting will be the Midwest Interstate Trail Summary. So those of you who are familiar with the south and west portion of Kenosha County, Wilmot area, the gravel pits that actually abut both sides of the county line, have a tremendous recreational opportunity. They can go from being unused and graveled out quarries to actually really cool recreational opportunities, which can include biking, hiking, and so forth. Supervisor Nordigan is intimately acquainted with this, so he could speak at some length at a future presentation if you'd like. Pike River Phase 3. This is at Petrifying Springs. You probably noticed, if you've been out there recently, how the shoreline has been stabilized. So in times of high water flow, instead of having erosion, having a lot of undesirable consequence downstream, you can see where the burlap has been staked in place. You'll see native plantings come up through there, and it's really, truly a benefit for the entire area. We're getting close to the completion of Phase 3, and we're pleased with the progress. Two closing notes for parks. We have the Pike River cleanup, which is scheduled at Petrifying Springs Area 4 on the 20th of this month. Also on the 27th, we have a fall wheel ride to begins at Kemper and ends at Petrifying Springs. So keep that on your docket if you are so interested. We get down to highways. Kind of the end of the season things. We're finishing up, doing paving projects, cleanup and so forth. We're hopefully going to get a few more trucks that are on back order. Those will be coming along to us, hopefully last quarter of this year, first quarter of next year. Along with highways, we have a meeting tomorrow evening, Pleasant Prairie. It has to do with County C, where the bridge crosses the Des Plaines River. It's in certain amount of concern for its longevity, and there will be an open house, 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. tomorrow, Pleasant Prairie Village Hall. All interested parties who want to know about the details, please attend. I think for highways, that's it. Facilities and so forth, the public service building just to our north had a elevator return to service. There was an issue with hydraulic cylinder. That's all been fixed. Brookside carpet and window silvers replacement is ongoing. That'll be finished up in Q4 of next year. We have some other things that have to do with backup generators. We have a backup generator that has come online at Brookside. They actually integrated that into the system this past June. And just late last month, the backup generator for the Kenosha County Center has been brought online, and that is super important because, whether you know it or not, all the communication fibers, all the black fibers, networks, and so forth, go through KCC first, Kenosha County Center, Highway 1545, before they are dispersed to the rest of the county buildings and county areas. So if something were to happen there where there's a loss of power, we didn't have the capacity, it would cripple the entire system. That has been backed up and rectified, so we're pleased that that has been done, and I'm happy to report its successful completion. Golf, we're doing pretty well in golf. We average, 80, 90,000 rounds per year. We're maybe 1,500 to 2,000 rounds off our all-time high of last year, but still a very successful year. We're looking at perhaps in the future, it will come before our committee and the county board, having some upgraded facilities at Brightondale. But thank you, Madam Chair, and I thank you, county board members, for your indulgence. I yield the floor.
Thank you, Supervisor Grady. Supervisor Gray.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just like to offer a little bit of news regarding the Pringle Nature Center. There's a new board chairman there, new energy, and I'm really pleased, having been there about a year as the board representative for that group, just to see how it's moving forward. And they are also having the annual Fall Fest on Saturday the 20th. Same day as Mr. Grady's event, but I guess ours is more fun. We're not cleaning up a river. We're going to have food trucks and live animals and hay rides, and would invite anybody and to bring their family. It's a nice event. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Gray. Vice Chair Gaschke.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a brief update on today's Joint Services Committee meeting. We met at 4:30 this afternoon. Typically, we would have met a couple weeks ago, but we delayed it as we're finalizing the proposed budget, and that will be the bulk of my update tonight. I am pleased to announce that the Joint Services Board did pass the tentative budget. We made a few modifications in the meeting, but everything went very smoothly. That being said, again, based upon the amendments that we made in the meeting, these are approximate numbers, but the county levy will increase about $274,000, and that's a percentage of approximately 4.6. Again, Barna and Patty and their team are going to recrunch and finalize numbers for us after the meeting this afternoon, but we're, again, the process went very smoothly. The city and the county worked very well together on behalf of the good of our whole community, and we were able to make some changes to the compensation, particularly for the telecommunicators. As you can imagine, and as you know, that has been a ongoing challenge. We have 9 vacancies currently, I believe, and 1 supervisor vacancy. So just trying to make our wages more compatible to surrounding communities in order to be able to attract and retain high-quality candidates for that very key frontline position. Also, the car wash replacement, they were just finalizing some bids and contracts, so hopefully we'll be able to have a new car wash in place for the police and sheriff vehicles. And then also just waiting on some final updates on a possible grant for the simulcast radio system as we continue to bolster and strengthen our communications. If you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to me or Chair Uhas or Supervisor Morrissey. All of us serve on the Joint Services Committee, and we'd be happy to help answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Gaschke. Any other supervisor reports? Seeing none, supervisor reports are closed. We will move on to the presentation on the Kemper Center. This is going to be a presentation by Supervisor Belsky. There will be no Q&A after. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to Supervisor Belsky, and she'd be more than happy to discuss those comments and questions with you.
All right. Good evening. I'd like to say good evening to County Executive Kirkman, Chairwoman Uhas, Chair Gaschke, supervisors, members of the public, and of course, those people streaming from home. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to speak about a place that's more than a landmark. It is part of the cultural fabric of Kenosha. That would be the Kemper Center Incorporated, a private 501c3 nonprofit. Tonight is about more than preserving history. It's about building a vibrant, sustainable future. The choices we make now will determine whether this historic treasure thrives for generations or slips into decline. The good news is this: we are standing at a moment of unprecedented opportunity, and you can tell I'm excited about it. To see where we're headed, let's ground ourselves in the legacy that brought us here. Nearly 50 years ago, the vision and generosity of Penny Palmer Enroth, Kemper Hall was gifted to Kenosha County, becoming our 7th county park. Not a lot of people realize that it's a nonprofit running the county park. It remains the only county park maintained by a private nonprofit, a public-private partnership that has brought art, history, and community together in ways no other Kenosha County institution does. For 5 decades, Kemper Center, Inc. has been the steward of this nationally recognized treasure, preserving it, programming it, and keeping it open to the public at minimal operational cost to the county. That legacy is remarkable. And to build on it, we must take an honest look at what held Kemper back over the past several years. Between 2018 and 2024, fundraising revenue declined nearly 49%, from almost $98,000 to $50,000. Without strong leadership, operations struggled. A dwindling volunteer base, a revolving door of staff, and diminished donor and membership support. The Keene Independent Report confirmed what was already clear. Without stronger leadership and partnerships, the campus could not achieve its full potential. The reality is stark, but it's not the end of the story. And independent findings confirm why urgent action was needed. The county commissioned Keene Independent Research to assess Kemper Center's operations, utilization, and potential. Their findings were clear. Quote, "The Kemper Center campus is underutilized," end quote. Quote, "KCI cannot achieve financial sustainability without significant partnership and operational change," end quote. The report also found that stronger marketing expanded programming, and public-private partnerships could unlock significant new revenue. In parallel, the county has launched a facilities condition assessment. It confirms what Kemper Center, Inc. has known all along. Large sections of the campus are in disrepair, but could be restored into revenue-generating income. Here's the good news. The very steps that Keene identified as essential are the steps this new leadership team is already taking. Kemper Center leadership didn't just read the recommendations, they acted. In mid-2024, recognizing the critical need for change, Kemper Center's board acted decisively. They recruited high-caliber board members, some of them here tonight, revitalized the executive committee, and overhauled structure and governance. They recruited, the result, new vision, new skills, and new accountability. The leadership team now brings together business owners, public officials, retired executives, philanthropists, and community leaders. This is not just a course correction. It's the beginning of a new era of strategic leadership, fiscal responsibility, and revitalized community engagement. And already, the results are visible. Now, you're going to have to bear with me on this next slide, because I have 7 points I want to make. So I want to see anybody looking down at their phone or getting bored, because I'm going to keep it interesting. So, what was once a long list of challenges has become a growing list of wins, many directly aligned with Keene's recommendations. Let me share just how far they've come. Remember, mid-2024, we're now into it a year. First, unprecedented in-kind support. Chairman Gary Gronke, owner of Design Partners, a nationally recognized brand marketing firm, has contributed over $114,000 in-kind services and products in late 2024 alone. A redesigned website, new marketing, campus signage, and updated displays, reducing operating expenses while expanding outreach. Second, strengthen philanthropic ties. Gary, who also serves as president of the Kemper Foundation, has built a strong relationship with Penny Palmer Enroth, president of the Palmer Foundation. Together, their foundations have already funded grants for our new curator position. And now, they're preparing grant applications to fund our most critical leadership role, the president, formerly known as the executive director. Third, we're elevating arts and culture. On July 15th, they welcomed an Anderson Arts curator and an Anderson Arts administrator, marking a renewed commitment to dynamic programming that draws people in and keeps them coming back. Fourth, pursuing accreditation. This was tried before, but the building needed some upkeep, and so now they're going to try for it again. Kemper Center is poised to submit the Anderson Arts Center's application, provided their lease is renewed, in the coming months, and are working toward accreditation for both the AAC and the Durkee Mansion. Accreditation is a true game changer. First, standards in learning. Accreditation puts them on the same level as national museums like the Guggenheim or even our own Kenosha Public Museum. It means meeting the highest benchmarks, and it gives their staff and board access to American Alliance of Museums training and resources. Second, trust and access. Accreditation elevates their credibility in the eyes of the public and their peers, and it opens doors for them to host prestigious traveling shows and national exhibits. And third, investment and donors. Accreditation unlocks new funding streams, state, federal, and private. And just as important, it gives Anderson Arts Center the credibility to attract major donors who want to invest in institutions they know are built to last. Fifth, Okay, there's just a couple more to go, but they've been doing a lot. Fifth, revitalize community engagement. Beloved fundraising events are back and thriving. The popular Art of the Car Show just finished up last weekend. That's returned. The Gallery of Trees is back at Anderson Arts Center, centralizing the arts experience. The prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award has returned, honoring local artistic talent. And the Music at Twilight series, formerly known as Twilight Jazz, has been reimagined with a new name and fresh identity, and it's already drawing huge crowds. We had a Frank Sinatra tribute that brought in over 500 people in attendance. It was really a sight to see. The Gallery of Trees coloring contest came back last fall and into Christmas, attracting 375 entries, with 80% coming from areas west of I-94. So they're expanding their reach across the county. They're planning special events for 2026 to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the partnership between Kenosha County and Kemper Center, honoring decades of success. Year-round art programs are being restored at Anderson Arts Center, including trips to Milwaukee and Chicago exhibits. Plus, they're having art classes for all ages, so not just children, but adults. And in line with the Keene's #1 recommendation, they will launch a year-round indoor and outdoor farmers market at Kemper Center starting in 2026. Sixth, fiscal responsibility, probably the most important one on our list. The new leadership team is overhauling bookkeeping and financial practices from the ground up. No more losses from poor return on investment tracking. No more gaps in accountability. Every dollar will now be measured, managed, and maximized to ensure Kemper becomes financially responsible and sustainable for the long term. And seventh, we made it. Enduring founder support. Kemper continues to receive vital operational support from founder Penny Palmer Enroth, whose generosity remains the bedrock of their success. And looking ahead, Kenosha County has scheduled interior restoration of Kemper Chapel for the winter of 2026. At one time, it was Kemper Center's most requested wedding and event space. This investment will secure its beauty, its longevity, and revenue potential for decades to come. This isn't theory, this is all happening as we speak. It's already underway. Yet restoring stability is only one step, because now a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity stands before us. This opportunity is unlike anything we've seen before. Kate Crowley, owner of Milwaukee St. James 1868, is prepared to invest $2 million of private capital directly into the Anderson Arts Center and grounds. This isn't a grant. It's a direct investment in Kenosha County's historic lakefront park, one that will generate hundreds of thousands annually through a revenue-sharing model, strengthening Kemper Center's financial sustainability. Her plan includes a public cafe inside the Arts Center, a glass outdoor atrium for up to 250 guests, a restored period garden that will be maintained by her year-round, and major Anderson Arts Center upgrades. The Keene report projected this: stronger partnerships, private investment, and marketing can unlock unprecedented activation. The $2 million opportunity puts Kemper on that trajectory, but it's time sensitive. Kemper Center's board of directors cannot, in good faith, begin negotiations until their lease is renewed. And the impact doesn't end at Kemper's gates. It spreads across Kenosha's economy. When weddings grow from 4 a year at the Anderson grounds currently to 50, the ripple effect is profound. Thousands of new visitors will come each year, staying in our hotels, dining in our restaurants, and shopping in stores and strolling our beautiful lakefront. This elevates Kenosha County's visibility across Wisconsin and Illinois, establishing the Arts Center, Anderson Arts Center, as a premier cultural and wedding destination. And once again, this is exactly what the Keene Report projected. Stronger partnerships, private investment, expanded programming will fuel unprecedented tourism and growth. This is about more than Kemper. This is about strengthening our entire community. Let's look at what that means in numbers. 50 luxury weddings from May to October aren't just celebrations. They're economic engines, visitors and tourism. Over 5 years, Kemper would welcome 62,000 attendees, including 44,000 from outside Kenosha. That's tens of thousands discovering our hotels, restaurants, attractions, and lakefront. Local economy and spending. Weddings just don't fill hotel rooms. Guests spend at shops, restaurants, and attractions, while wedding couples invest in venues, catering, and local services. Over 5 years, that adds up to nearly $25 million in taxable local sales. Hospitality and room tax. Those guests would generate about 33,500 hotel room nights, translating to nearly $7.9 million in lodging revenue, and because of Kenosha's 8% room tax, that produces roughly $635,000 dedicated directly to promoting, local tourism. Public benefit. The impact for government is equally clear. About $1.9 million in new sales tax revenues, including more than $115,000 flowing directly to Kenosha County. That's money that can be reinvested into public priorities, all without raising a single dime in new taxes. So this isn't about just preserving history. It's about turning cultural heritage into economic vitality, year after year. And this is just a snapshot. If we invest in Kemper's own disrepaired rectory and empty third and fourth floors as hospitality suites, Kemper Center can capture part of this revenue directly, moving them toward true self-sufficiency. And to seize this moment, we cannot wait until 2027 to renew our lease. Why act now in 2025 instead of waiting? Because early renewal is the solution. Momentum is real, but it's fragile. Kemper is turning the corner, but without certainty, progress stalls. A long-term renewal ensures continuity and confidence. Private investment requires stability. Ms. Crowley's $2 million commitment is transformative, but if it hinges on Kemper Center securing their lease now. If the county delays the renewal, they risk this opportunity. National accreditation demands long-term certainty. The Keene Report makes this clear. Stability and partnership are prerequisites. A long-term lease signals both to accrediting bodies and funders. Donor and community confidence depends on decisive action. As Keene warns, delays risk donor confidence and engagement. Early renewal sends the opposite signal, that Kenosha County believes in this vision, this new leadership, and this partnership. The real risk isn't renewing early. The real risk is waiting. And we know this model works. Nearly 50 years of proven stewardship. Kemper does deliver measurable value. In fact, the first half of 2025 alone, Kemper's chairman again contributed over $88,000 in-kind services and products, reducing our operational costs. Kemper Center maintains 17.5 acres of historic lakefront park, the only county park maintained by a nonprofit. Kemper Center insures and protects its $4 million in historic assets, whether it's lighting to carpeting to furniture to artwork, and spends nearly $16,000 annually on insurance alone. In return for the $100,000 in county-provided utilities, the public enjoys free year-round access to history, arts, and open green spaces. Beyond cost savings, Kemper generates sustainable fixed revenue, with Lakefront Art Studios and Ambrose Hall Rentals generating $91,000 annually to support operations. This is nearly 50 years of proven public-private partnership, and the next chapter is about multiplying that value through new leadership, private investment, and tourism growth. And that brings us to one clear decision. Tonight I have just one clear ask, and that's renew Kemper Center's lease now. Because renewal isn't the challenge. Renewal is the solution. It will unlock $2 million in investment, secure long-term stability, accelerate accreditation, expand programming and community engagement, continue 5 decades of stewardship, and deliver millions in local impact. This isn't about asking for more. It's about acting decisively, right now, to preserve momentum, attract investment, and strengthen confidence. A long-term lease is a balanced commitment. It gives donors and investors the long-term confidence they need while ensuring the county maintains its rightful oversight. Let's choose momentum over delay, investment over uncertainty. And with the decision to renew in 2025, we begin writing the next 50 years. As I close, I leave you with this. The next 50 years of Kemper's story will be shaped by the decisions we make now. By renewing Kemper Center's lease early, you will unlock private investment, accelerate accreditation, strengthen tourism, multiply returns, and preserve a cultural treasure entrusted to Kemper for half a century. On behalf of Kemper's leadership, volunteers, and the thousands who cherish this jewel on the lake, I thank Kenosha County Executive Kirkman, Chairwoman Uhas, and every member of the Kenosha County Board of Supervisors for your commitment to preserving Kenosha's history and building its future. Together, we can ensure Kemper continues to inspire, welcome, and thrive for generations to come. Thank you. I have a handout that I'm going to be passing out to everybody of the presentation and of the annual report. If you have any questions, I'll be around for about a day to answer questions, but you can always email me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Balsky.
County Executive Appointments, 45. I'm sorry. County Executive Appointments, 45. Stephanie Conley to serve on the Kenosha County Human Services Board.
Refer to Human Services Committee.
New business, Resolution 138 from the Legislative Committee, a resolution delegating the authority to enter into settlement agreements with opioid defendants. This passed unanimously at committee.
Supervisor Morrissey. Moved by Supervisor Morrissey, seconded by Vice Chair Gaschke. Supervisor Morrissey.
So this resolution authorizes that Kenosha County Corporation Council is the authorized agent to enter into any settlement agreements with opioid litigant defendants. Sorry about that. I'll just start. This resolution authorizes the Kenosha County Corporation Council to be the authorized entity to enter into settlement agreements with the opioid litigation defendants. That's in consultation with our attorneys, the plaintiff's executive committee attorneys. Corporation Council has to notify the county exec, county board chair, and the county board of any proposed settlement. This resolution does not authorize any expenditures of the funds by the Corporation Council. As stated, it passed unanimously, and we'd ask for your support.
Thank you, Supervisor Morrissey. Any discussion on Resolution 138? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Resolution 138 passes unanimously.
Communications 107, communication from Supervisors Garcia and Gama, a resolution recognizing September 15th, 2025 to October 15th, 2025 as Hispanic Heritage Month.
Refer to Legislative Committee.
Claims 42, Asante Williams, personal injury.
Refer to Corporation Council.
The approval of the August 19th, 2025 County Board meeting minutes by Supervisor Robinson.
Supervisor Robinson.
Move to approve the August 19, 2025 County Board meeting minutes.
Moved by Supervisor Robinson, seconded by Supervisor Decker. Any corrections or additions? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Motion to adjourn by Supervisor Decker, seconded by Supervisor Garcia. All in favor? Aye.